everyone and welcome back to my studio. We're finally here with this commissioned portrait which has taken me ages to finish. I know I promised you to show you the painting process and I wish I would never have done that, but well, I have to keep my promise, so here we are. And I'm sorry to say that once again I forgot to press the record button at a certain point of the painting process. So at the beginning there is a very small part missing, and at a certain point I realized that I had painted the hands too high and that my arms were too short and that it was a total disaster because I had to move everything without my model being there. So I needed my mobile phone to use the reference photograph, which was a very small one, and therefore I couldn't use my mobile phone to record the painting process. So I'm quite happy that you won't see all my struggles at that point. My model came 2 times for a sitting of 3 hours, and she came a 3rd time for a short pose. So after that I had to finish the painting all by myself, and it was very hard. I don't know why, but it was a total struggle. It was the first time for me to paint a commissioned portrait. Usually I just paint whatever I want. And I enjoyed the process when my model was there, but when she was gone, I just felt lost. I wish I would never have accepted this commission. But now that the painting is done, I'm quite satisfied with the results, especially this part, which I will show you later, which has a very nice texture to it. But the hands, don't look at them, I hate them. Well, no, I don't hate them, but I think they show my struggle, and that's not what I like to see in my paintings. Maybe you can see that the portrait is painted on panel. It is MDF, and I just love using a panel to paint on because it gives me the freedom to choose whatever composition I want. I can always cut off a part. And this white part is going to be cut off. My dear husband will do that for me. So then it will look all done and clean. Well, I think that's it. So let's paint. Okay, let's start. Here you see me drawing some directional lines in order to capture the right directions in the pose. You can't see it well, but I have made a composition sketch before. It's a very small one, and that is just to set myself a goal I can work towards. The way she's holding her hands in the composition sketch is different than in the final work, because it turned out the pose was a bit uncomfortable, and actually I'm quite happy that she changed the way she holds her hand, because it's a much more dynamic pose. Well, as you can see, I'm drawing with straight lines that capture the directions in the whole pose, and was struggling a bit with the head because of course I want to get her likeness. I think that the rest of the pose was quite easy to get. I could say I've drawn it into a kind of flow, but when that flow was finished, I started looking at my drawing in a kind of strange way, and I thought, I think that, yeah, here you can see it, that the arms are way too long. Let me place the hands differently. But that was a huge mistake, and now I can't see it, but At a certain point in the painting process, I will see that I should not have placed those hands in the place where I put them. They should have been way below. And well, you can see, you will hear later what happened afterwards. So, adding the color blocks first. I know I told you guys that it is best to start with the most vibrant colors, the most light ones and the most dark ones. But it is a bit difficult here because there are not very pronounced colors. So I decided to start with the hair and the dark blocks of the trousers because they were, well, the most important blocks in the composition. And afterwards, I'm adding all kind of nude hues in her shirt, and really just trying to put as much color everywhere so I can, well, figure out what my color composition is. So I'm trying to work everywhere in my painting, not just the face, but to add a bit of color spots in the chair, in the background, in her clothes, in her hair, and that way I'm setting myself a goal, saying, okay, there's some purple in the background here, some purple in her hands. I have brown colors in her hair, in the background, in the chair, in her shirt as well. There is some cool colors in her hair. Where can I find a place where those colors resonate? So, but the temptation is too high to start with the face right now because, well, you know, my model is not staying for a very long time, so I'm just trying to capture the likeness as quick as I can. It's really all because at a certain point there will be a pause and a break, and the model will come and say, oh yeah, it looks like me, or oh god, it looks like a clown. So I'm trying to get some likeness as quick as I can, but as you can see, it all starts out like a clown anyway. Here you see me placing some colors, and I'm not really paying attention to the contours inside that I've drawn inside the face, because I think it's much more important just to look at the face as it were a kind of harmony of colors. But as I told you in the intro, I forgot to press the record button of my phone. So here you see that there is a huge part missing of the painting process. I'm so sorry. Anyway, after the biggest color blocks in the face, I'm just trying to place the midtones and to shape the eye. And while doing that, I'm constantly squinting, trying to capture the right values, because they're so important to get, well, not only likeness, but just also a tridimensional face, which is what we want, right? And I'm sorry to say that maybe you can see it, but I'm talking a lot. And that's because I have my live model there, and I am only human. So if there is a chatty girl with me in the studio, I just start to chat as well. And that's not so good for the painting process, but well, I can't help it. You have seen me shape the eye, and here I am adding some darker values to the lips in order to shape them. And what I always like seeing in the mouth is that where the two lips come together, there is a very saturated red in most cases, right? And that's very nice to paint. I don't know if you can see it well in the video now, but you will see it in the pictures that I've added at the end of the film. I've tried to add as much of the painting process as possible, but in order to make this video around the 20 minutes length, I had to leave out some part of the painting process. So it's not only because I forget to press the record button all the time, but also because I just had to think of what is interesting to show you and what is less interesting. So that's why you have missed me painting the hands. And actually these are not the hands that will show up in the last pictures at the end of the video, because I will have to move them since the arms of my model are way too short here. But I don't care right now. You see that I am enjoying painting all those lovely curls. And I don't know if you saw it, but when blocking in the hair in the first stage, I've used a very big brush and I've tried to press the hairs of the brush in a way in which you can, I don't know, it's so difficult to explain. I've pressed it very hard so you can really see the hairs of the brushes in the paint, and you can see some of the panels shining through, and that I think creates a sort of illusion that there are shiny curls. And afterwards I'm just adding some darker curls and some highlights, and well, that's it. Well, also some cooler colors, but beside of that I'm not working a very long time on these curls. I think the suggestion is enough, and I want to keep the whole painting clean and spontaneous, or to create an illusion of the painting being spontaneous. But it isn't, it really isn't. Right here you see me struggling with this eye. it's kind of ridiculous. I'm adding some values here and I'm adding more darkness there, and then I think, no, that's not okay. Let's change it. And I will scrape off some of the paint and paint it again, and scrape it off and paint it again, and then at a certain point I will scream, oh no, I hate this eye. Painting is so difficult. I think I will just stop and change career. Maybe I will start a restaurant or do something else that isn't so hard. Well, that's not true. A restaurant is very hard. But I think painting is the hardest thing of all. Yes, I chose to show you my struggle, because otherwise people may think, oh, she's so quick, she paints it all. Like it doesn't cost her anything, but it does. Trust me. Oh, that was my model. I hope you can see that I'm paying a lot of attention to the colors in her face, trying to make them match the colors in the rest of the painting. So there's some green below her nose, and there's also some green in the chair. There are some rose hues in her face and also in her hands, but also in the background. Maybe not yet, but they will appear. And there's also some slightly purple colors in her face, and well, I just try to make colors repeat in the whole painting, so I create a harmony. I think that's a very good quality for a good painting. It's not that it needs to be that way, but I think that in my paintings, it's one of the most important choices I make. So here my model wasn't present, so I chose to fill all the blocks of my background, and what did I want to say? Oh yeah, she's sitting in front of one of my biggest paintings. So if you wonder what's behind her, then that's a leg and the border of a skirt. And I added some green, which I will erase later, in the bottom corner left. And that's a palette which I painted on the painting that is a background for this portrait right now. But the green is too saturated, so I chose to paint it in the first place because it was really there. But in the end, I thought, well, no, all the attention is going bam towards that green spot because it is next to a red spot, and that creates a complementary contrast, which is not so important there. It shouldn't be there. The biggest contrast should be in her face, obviously, and maybe her hands a bit, but I don't want anything to grab away the attention. So here you see me painting the chair, just blocking in everything and trying to get away all the white of the panel. Some people paint on a toned background, and I've done that in a few cases. Usually I do that when I make a very big painting, but in most cases I'm quite lazy and I just think, I'm painting on white. Well, as you can see, here is another painting session, and I'm painting the stripes. Still not realizing that the arms are way too short and that everything I'm doing now will have to be done again. Still, I want to show you this because I'm painting the stripes paying attention to the values. First, I'm painting all the shadowy bits in, not in black, but in a very dark color. And afterwards, I'm adding a color that's also dark, but slightly lighter and a bit blue, because I think that matches the trousers, and because it was really there since I've painted her by daylight, and daylight is always a bit cool, I think. So, major changes here. As you can see, the arm is longer now, and I painted the hands using my memory and a very small picture on my mobile phone. That's why I couldn't film it. I'm sorry. But I'm sure that I will paint hands in a future video, and hopefully I won't forget to press the record button and I won't need my mobile phone for other things. So this was very fun to do, painting the chair. because I had already blocked in everything. So it was just a matter of adding some stripes to create the illusion of, well, I don't know how it's called in English right now, but anyway, to create the texture of this chair. And finally, the stripes of the pillow, which I've painted very quickly. And I thought that was a very nice touch in the composition, since there are more stripes in a shirt, but also the little stripes in the chair. They all create a harmony of stripes. And I think I didn't film that either, but the background, which I felt I had blocked in quickly, was a bit too hard, I think. The colors were too vibrant. So once it was dry, I used a half dry brush with some light blue color on it, and I just I painted it very carefully over the background, so the background would really go back. Well, that's it, and thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I see you next time.